Hello. Well, as you can tell, I'm at the park. Well, you could just see a massive field, but I'm at the park anyway. And I'm trying to find a place where there aren't many people because I wanted to sit on a bench, but there wasn't really any around. Sorry, I'm looking at a butterfly. There wasn't any around without anyone walking past. So I was like, okay. So I'm just roaming around. I can't vlog at home, like I can't make a video in general at home because, oh my god, this lockdown, like the whole pandemic has gone on for so long. I'm just like, I spend a lot of my time stir crazy and needing to get out. And it's really warm today. So I'm just like, I'm gonna go to the park and I'm gonna vlog. I'm just gonna walk around. I've been listening to Hayley Williams, what's it called, Flowers for, well in England we say vases, but Flowers for Vases album. It's very moving, wow, it's great. Just doing that, but I also as well, I wanted to make this video and I didn't want it to be really serious, even though it's a really serious topic. I wanted to just talk about it in general because I've actually been wanting to make a video on this for a while, and I just basically recently there's been a woman called Sarah Everard, and she was out at night and she got raped and killed basically, and it's horrific, and there's been a lot of outpourings of love for her online and outrage at men basically. And I just want to say to any men watching this, just think about your behaviour, you know, especially at night, you know, like towards women, because I'm really fed up of it. Like, this pandemic has made me like realise just how much men and boys should just harass not me, and I don't mean that in like a show off way, like, oh, boys like me, oh, I'm so pretty that boys like me, and then no, it's not that. But for example, one time I went to a concert. This was about 2.5 years ago, I don't know. I went to a concert, and it was at a really small venue in Birmingham, and a guy was like chatting to me about this band. I was like, oh, they're really good, aren't they? Yeah, they're up and coming band, you know, chatting about this band and how we both got into them. And I think I'm gonna sit down here on this grassy bank. Yeah. So we were talking and kind of chatting, and we went upstairs and there was a bar area, and he's like, oh, can I buy you a drink? And I was like, oh no, it's okay, I've got one, you know. I had like water in my bag because they allow it in these tiny venues, but anyway, so there was that. And he was chatting to me. He was like, oh, what's your social media? What's it, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I could tell he liked me, but I was just like, well, I'm gay and I'm really just not interested. You know, he seemed okay, but anyway. Long story short about that, he made a Facebook account just to talk to me. And I can't remember the name on it, but he called himself Edward something or other, and I was like, okay. And he messaged me and he sent me a picture of his face smiling, saying, hi, this is Edward from the concert tonight. I was like, oh, hi. We got chatting, and he was like flirting with me and being weird, and I was like, look, I'm gay and I've got a girlfriend. And he was like, oh, and he was like, can I watch? Wallet at the ready. And I was like, oh. Now, if it was me now, I wouldn't have even got into a conversation with him. Like really, I would have just ignored him completely. I wouldn't have even entertained the idea. Like, as soon as the ad request comes in, I would just press decline, and if he messaged me on Messenger, I'd just ignore it, just block him. you know, I just wouldn't even bother. Like, and in the person, I'd be like, oh no, I haven't got Facebook or something. I would just say that I don't have any, you know, I just don't, basically. So there's that. And and then ages late, like I basically said to him, look, you know, no. And I ignored him after that, and I didn't reply or anything, and he stopped. And then ages later, years later, I was scrolling through Messenger because I was deleting stuff randomly, and I saw that his name has now changed, and I clicked the message. I clicked it, and it was all these messages from ages ago that, you know, that we'd sent. And I was just like, he's changed his name, and I'm just like, well, what is his name? And I'm just like, well, and I just think this is just so awful and just, oh, you know what I mean? It's just weird. And as well, a lot of people have asked me about this, but the video that I first ever introduced my ex Megan in, the video where it's like meeting my internet girlfriend for the first time, something like that. There was a guy in the background like looking at us a lot and smiling. Yes, when the camera was off, he did come over and he asked if he could join us. Him and his girlfriend could join us, and we were like, no. And he meant in that kind of situation, and we were just like, no. And he was just being creepy, and we were just like, no, goodbye, type of thing. And there are so many examples that I could give you of stuff that's happened. Like, me and my ex were walking around central Birmingham, and a guy came up to us, and he said he was from New York when he wasn't. Like, he didn't have an accent at all. He sounded British, basically. And he was saying like these inappropriate things about me. I'm not going to repeat it, but he was saying all these inappropriate, we were just like, you know, and it was just weird, you know. And it's scary, you know. It's really scary. And when I was a teenager, there was like kids my age, like there was someone from the same, I'm not going to say specifics, but from the same after school activity I used to do that liked me and wouldn't leave me alone and would take that further. And I didn't want it. I didn't want anything to happen. But to be honest, when I was a teenager, I don't know why, but I didn't have the confidence to say no and to push them away and to stand up for myself. I was so used to it. The people would put me in that kind of situation. I'd be like, oh yeah, and I'd just do what they wanted. And it's just, yeah, a lot of things happened. Like, there was a guy that was in the same class as me at school when I was, how old was I? 16? 15, 16? Yeah, something like that. And he was in the same year group as me, same grade. And because I used to make innuendos, you know, like sexual jokes at school, he thought I'd be up for it, basically, but I didn't know that that was his intention. So he says to me, oh, sorry about the noise of the airplane or helicopter or whatever it is, if you can hear it. But there was a fly that went in my face. But there was, hold on, I'm gonna wait till that noise stops because it's loud. Okay, the helicopter's gone now. It's the trouble with outdoor filming, but it's glorious weather and I didn't want to be indoors. But anyway. So this school friend says, oh, how about we meet up in the shopping centre and we meet outside this shop? I'm like, yeah, sure. Just to hang out. I don't even know why I agreed at this point. I should never have agreed. But I was like, well, it's a public place. What's he going to do? What, you know. So I was like, okay. And I was near there anyway. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll meet up with you. And, you know, like when you are so focused on the conversation that you don't realise where you're walking to or where they're taking you. Yeah. I was chatting with him and we were walking around the shopping centre and I thought we were going to like look at some video games or something, or we were going to I don't know, I thought there was something he needed to buy, I don't know. Or maybe he would say something to me like, oh, I need to buy a birthday present for my mom or my sister. Can you, as a girl, can you give me some advice as to what to buy, what they might like? You know, something like that, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, we were walking to a multi-storey car park, the joys. And I didn't understand why, but sometimes there are shortcuts in multi-storey car parks to different levels of the shopping centre and stuff like that. Anyway, I was like, okay, thought nothing of it. We were walking, and we went through a door, and he kissed me, and I was like, okay, someone likes me, and I was just like, what? And then he was like asking me for stuff, and I was just like, no. And I was talking to him, I was like, where? Like, I was like, where are you even? And he was like, oh, what about over there? And he pointed to some concrete stairs. I was like, are you joking? Like, what? And I was like, no. And I was just like, no. And I'm not going to say anything more than that, I think. But I was just, yeah. After that, he was like, oh, after that, I was like, no. And anyway, after that, we were walking round the shopping centre for not very long, less than a minute, and he was like, oh, I think I'm going to go home now. And I'm just like, I think, is that why I was invited here? Like, what? And I was just like, oh, it's not very nice, is it? So there's that, and yeah, and my mum or dad, I forgot who, came to pick me up, and they were like, oh, you weren't very long, you were like less than an hour. And I was like, oh yeah, we walked around a bit, and then he was just like, oh, I'm gonna go home now. And they were like, okay. And they were just like, okay, fine, okay. Yeah. And ever since then, like, as if in, like, the days after that, I just wasn't myself. And I can't remember what it was, but we went to some kind of outdoor event with my martial arts group. And I was just sat on my own for a lot of it, and I was acting really quiet. And I think it was my martial arts instructor who said to my mum, was like, Steff doesn't seem herself, like, she doesn't seem herself. Is she alright? Like, you know. And my mum was like, yeah, she seems alright. She seems fine. And then a day or two later, I can't remember the specifics, but my mum was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I was just like, oh, well, you know this person. And she was like, yeah. And when we went here, she's like, yeah. And I explained, and she was just like, oh, and she was really angry at him, and she messaged him. She was really angry, and she was like, if you do this again, I'm gonna take further action, like police action and all of that. And she was saying it's not okay because what he did, he could do it to someone else. And and I understand now. At the time, because I was so flipping used to it from boys, stupid boys, either my age or like a year or two younger, I was just like unfazed, which is the awful part about it. I was so used to it at this point that I just, you know, so there's probably other stories I could tell you about, but to be honest, I've gone on for too long at this point. Like, basically, if you are a man, please do not do these things to women. You know, treat them with respect. Learn the difference between no meaning no and maybe means no, basically. And if you have a son, please educate your son and tell him, look, you can't do this. All these things. Just thought of another thing. Oh dear, right, okay. some of the most frequent viewers of my channel have asked me, how are my driving lessons going? Good question. Let's talk about it. God. So, from the age of 17 to 21-ish, on and off, very on and off because of my uni degree, and I was super busy at that time. I was having driving lessons and they were awful because I just wasn't ready to do them. And I never had good teachers, but nothing happened like that. Then, I had a teacher, sorry, there's a person walking towards me and it's really awkward. So I have to stop filming and come back. Be right back. Okay, I'm gonna try and vlog again. So, I'll talk a bit quieter now. But, sorry about the planes as well, or whatever they are. But anyway, yeah, so I decided that in 2020, I was gonna start driving lessons. And I took my theory, and I passed it. And then we went into lockdown. So that's fun, like the first ever lockdown. Then I was having lessons on and off throughout the lockdown, but my teacher was a little bit creepy. He never did anything bad, he was just a little bit creepy. And what I mean is, he would like purposefully make physical contact with me, like he would tap my arm, or he would like tap my leg, like on my thigh, and that would make me uncomfortable. And he would comment on what I was wearing. He was like, oh, you look really nice in all black, or oh, your hair looks nice. Oh, your hair looks nicer when it's down than when it's up. And like saying like, oh, I really enjoy your company, and like if I'd make a mistake, like, oh well, can't have beauty and brains, you know, but like, oh, considering you're so beautiful, and I'm just like, please, just don't, you know. And it was freaky because I'm like, well, I'm in a car with him, he could take me anywhere, you know, like even though I'm driving, he has control over the car because of the pedals on the other side, you know. He could just, one day, he could just drive me and go, I'm taking you to this place so we can practice parking, when actually it could be something else. He never did, but it was always a real concern. But thankfully, after a few months of having him as an instructor, and me being like, oh, and cringing when I got in the car, and even in the height of summer, I had to wear trousers because I couldn't wear shorts around him because I was worried in case he was going to tap my thigh and be too far up, if you know what I'm saying, or anything like that. Anyway, he decided that he wanted to change careers and do something else. So I was left without an instructor, and I was like, okay. So now I've got a new one, and he is not creepy, he's fine. And he is just completely so not interested in me, which is good. And that's fine. Obviously I haven't been doing driving lessons because of lockdown at the moment, but I plan to do them soon. Again, like April is when, middle of April. I've already booked my next lesson. So there's all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. I have lots of friends that have lots of stories about men harassing them. It's not just women. Sorry, it's not just men that harass women. Women can also do it too. Ages ago, when I was 20, there was a girl that was very pushy with me, and I ended up doing stuff that I didn't want to do, which was practically assaulting me. And yeah, so it's not just men. But, yeah, and like, for example, if I've just been to a concert and I'm outside, I say to my, like, I'll be chatting with some friends and I'll be like, oh, I have to go now because I'm scared that I'm gonna get like raped or murdered on the way back from the venue to the hotel, and I'm worried, you know. Like, I'll say to like guys I've made friends with at shows, you know, and I'd get paranoid. And anywhere, like walking out late at night, I'd get paranoid. I'd be like, oh, the men are gonna come and get me, you know. And it's just scary being a woman or a girl in the world, like, you know. So yeah. it's insane, absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Sorry I didn't make a video the week prior. I just had the worst skin problems, and I was so stir crazy. I wasn't having a good time. I was really down the week just gone, so I'm sorry. But and yeah, I don't put my hair down a lot because it's so long and the layers are so bad now because it's been so long since I had a haircut. I just can't. So I get people say to me about this whole, oh, you always have your hair up. I can't help it, okay? And it's anyway. So like the video, comment if you want. Educate your sons and male friends, and a bee just nearly launched itself at me. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't already. I think I probably just did that. Anyway, goodbye. Bye.